Happy New Year on this tasty Tuesday. My name is Jacqi Williams. I am a certified sports nutrition coach with our DOS-REC City facility here in New Braunfels. And today I'm going to be sharing a very quick and easy recipe for energy bites. I love energy bites as a way to get a little bit of extra nutrition in your day, either as a quick, easy snack that you can pop anytime because they're really super portable, or an easy breakfast in the morning before you get started, as well as a little treat you can sneak after dinner without any guilt. So this recipe is super basic, and the great thing about it is that you can adjust it according to what you have on hand in your pantry or your taste preferences. So I'm going to give you the most basic way to make energy bites and some of the key things that you'll want to keep in mind as you do. You can follow along this recipe either linked below or find it on my blog at jacquiwilliams.com. So this most basic recipe is actually going to call for 1 cup of old-fashioned oats. You can use any oat variety that you prefer, and you'll just start with that right there in your mixing bowl. Then I'm going to add in ½ a cup of ground flaxseed. So ground flaxseed can be found at your local grocery store, usually in the healthy living department, pre-bagged already for you. You want it ground or milled. If you don't, then you're just going to get those little seeds, and those just aren't quite as digestible. But this is a great way to up your nutritional intake. These are amazing for additional omega-3 fatty acids in your diet in a really easy way. And they kind of have just a slight nutty flavor. The next thing you'll want to do is add in your honey. I'm using 1/3 of a cup of just a local honey that I found again at our grocer. You can adjust this as needed. If you prefer to use something like agave, that's totally fine. So 1/3 of a cup of honey, and then ½ a cup of a nut butter. I here have a mixture of just a regular almond butter and an organic peanut butter. You can do whichever nut butter you prefer. And again, I'm using ½ a cup of this. So it's the combination of the honey and the peanut butter that is going to help those balls stick together as you form them. So you can adjust this as needed. Then I'm going to add in a tablespoon of chia seeds. So you've probably heard of chia seeds by now. They've been really popular for a few years as a way to get in, again, additional omega-3 fatty acids, which are amazing for your overall health, for skin and hair, heart health, brain health, you name it. Chia seeds, again, you can find them in your healthy living department of your local grocery store, already bagged and ready for you. The great thing about chia seeds is there's a lot of fiber in them as well, and so that's going to help keep you full and then aid in good digestion. Next, I'm adding in just a teaspoon of vanilla for some extra flavor. So that is your most basic recipe. From there, you're just going to mix it. You can either mix it in your mixing bowl or just use a wooden or a plastic spoon. That's totally fine. You'll mix it up. You can then add some additional ingredients. So chocolate chips are always a popular variety. You'll see that listed on the recipe. The ones I love typically are just going to be an organic brand that you can find of any, mini chip in your grocer. I love this Enjoy Life brand personally, if that's something you're looking for. Some people love to add in something like tart cherries or dried cranberries or raisins, some other sweet item, which is also another way to boost your fiber at the same time as adding in a little bit of sweetness, or even some additional nuts. Now you can do any nuts that you prefer. Again, this is very flexible, and this is going to be your base recipe to adjust as needed depending upon your preferences or what you have on hand in your pantry. So if you don't have flaxseed or you don't have chia seeds, those really are bonus nutrients that are going into this. You can certainly just adjust that oat ratio as you wish. I also love to use sometimes some pitted dates, and I'll grind those up and add those in. And another favorite additional ingredient for me are hemp hearts. I love the natural taste of a hemp heart, and those are a great way to boost your protein content as well as upping that omega fatty acid as well. And then lastly, I usually add in some kind of a protein formula. I personally love to use this complete plant-based protein formula because it's all additional plant nutrients and it has a nutrition label and it tastes really great. If you have one that you prefer, you can add that in as well. And the benefit of doing this is you're gonna get a little bit of extra protein in your energy bite, which is always a good thing. So I've added all of my ingredients except for my chocolate chips at this point, and I'm just gonna mix them up in my KitchenAid mixing bowl. You can do this again with a spoon or anything that works for you. Just get your hands dirty. So while that's mixing, you have a couple options. Once you mix it up, you want to let it sit in the refrigerator, if possible, for about 20 to 30 minutes, if not an hour or so. If you do that, it's going to make it easier for you to create balls in the future. Balls are optional though. I will tell you, if you want to make this even faster and easier of a recipe for you that you can just throw together, you can just use some kind of baking dish and just add it in there. Okay? So what I would do, and see, that's how quickly it was. It mixed together on low speed in my KitchenAid. Again, you can do it with a spoon or a spatula at the same time. Now, if you let this chill in the refrigerator, those balls are gonna form a little bit easier for you. Again, that's an optional step. You can create balls, just roll them, and then you'll line them out, and then you'll still pop them in the fridge just for them to set. I love to just keep mine in the fridge. They last a little bit longer, and I personally love to eat them cold. Some people even put them in the freezer, so you can put them in a parchment-lined freezer bag or in a dish, and that's totally gonna be, again, your preference. I love to then grab them from the freezer and take them with me on the go. So as I'm driving my kids around to sports or drop off, I have those healthy, nutritious, but still really, really tasty treats ready to go for them in the car. So it's gonna kind of look like this, a little bit cookie dough batter-y, and you just roll it in a ball, simple, and pop it down and let it set. Now, if you notice it's not quite sticking well enough, you can either add in a little bit more nut butter or a little bit more honey, or even a splash of water is a little tip that I have to help it stick a little bit better. Mine actually ended up being a really perfect consistency, so you can do that. Except I forgot the chocolate chips. You don't want to forget the chocolate chips if you can help it. So I'm gonna pour those in and then just mix it again with my spoon, because my kids love this little, they feel like they're getting a treat when I add in those chocolate chips. And again, if you're choosing a good dark chocolate option, you don't have to feel guilty about that either. It is optional though. So I'm just gonna, again, form those into balls and put them in my dish. Now, alternatively, if you don't wanna take the time to make balls, you would just dump this in your dish, press it out, and let it set like that. So you're more or less gonna create energy bars. So once it's set, you'll chop it up into little bars or slice it up into little bars. Okay? So I love to double this recipe because while I'm spending the time in the kitchen to throw it together, I might as well make a double batch. It's really super easy. And I have snacks for the whole week for the kiddos or for myself. So you see I just pressed it in there. I'll pop it in the fridge and let it set. And then once it's set, I'll just slice that up into little bite-sized bars. So you can do your energy bites in whichever you prefer. If you want this recipe, you can follow the link below or just go to jacquiwilliams.com/blog and find the recipe right there on the blog. Thank you for tuning in to this Tasty Tuesday demo. I hope you see how easy it is to create healthy, nutritious snacks that you can take on the go and make them your own. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, thanks for tuning in. Have a happy new year.